In a booklet entitled How to Respond to the Jehovah's Witnesses by Herbert Kern, we read on page 25, the marks of a personality are intellect, emotion, and will. But are emotions essential for personality? Does God have emotional ups and downs? When the Bible speaks of God having emotions, it is using figurative language. After urging that the term substance be discarded, Clark goes on to define the word person in the following passage. The other causes greater difficulty because it must not be discarded. It must be defined. Put simply, the question is, what is a person? This question arises not only with respect to the Trinity, and as well to ordinary psychology. In fact, the American public is so depraved that the question now concerns the murder of unborn babies by their cruel mothers. They say the babies are not persons. This author suspects that most people are so occupied with their bodies that they have little or no understanding of spirit. They think with their brains, or with all their muscles, as John Dewey held. An invisible, intangible, yet intelligent something that occupies no space whatsoever is beyond their power of apprehension. How unbiblical this materialism is clearly seen in Moses' conversation with Christ on the Mount of Transfiguration. And to generalize, what do they, if they are Christians, suppose goes to heaven when a Christian dies? Remember that Christ told the thief on the cross, "Today thou shalt be with me in paradise." Unless Christians reject contemporary secularism, study the Bible, and develop some sense of spirituality, they will remain unable to understand various parts of the Bible, and above all, the Incarnation. Therefore, since God is truth, we shall define person not as a composite of sensory impressions, as Hume did, but rejecting with him the meaningless term substance, we shall define person as a composite of truths. A bit more exactly, since all men make mistakes and believe some falsehoods, the definition must be a composite of propositions. As a man thinketh in his figurative heart, so is he. A man is what he thinks. Since technical terms are used to avoid ambiguity, and since the Trinity consists of three persons, the definition will fail if it does not apply to God. That it does apply appears more or less clearly in verses that call God the truth. Clark then goes on to quote a number of passages from the Bible. Aside from whatever objections will be immediately raised against this uncommon conclusion, theologians will complain that this reduces the Trinity to one person because, being omniscient, they all have, or are, the same complex. This objection is based on a blindness towards certain definite scriptural information. Though they are equally omniscient, they do not all know the same truths. Neither the complex of truths we call the Father, nor those we call the Spirit, has the proposition, "I was incarnated." The proposition occurs only in the Son's complex. Other examples are implied. The Father cannot say, "I walked from Jerusalem to Jericho," nor can the Spirit say, "I begot the Son." Hence the Godhead consists of three persons, each omniscient, without having precisely the same content. If this be so, no difficulty can arise as to the distinctiveness of human persons. Each one is an individual complex. Each one is his mind or soul. Whether the propositions be true or false, a person is the propositions he thinks. The Incarnation, pages 53 to 55, by Dr. Gordon H. Clark.